Hello, everybody.
You're feeling optimistic about your ability to play on Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was I limited yesterday? I didn't feel like it. No, very excited to play football.
You're limited today, allegedly.
Reportedly.
I think there have been some circumstances that have happened this year, so we're just trying to cover our bases and be as honest as possible. But no, I'm feeling fantastic. Hey, Braden. Most reporters have their shirts on when they cover me, Braden. You want me to back up?
No, you're good.
Oh,
Okay. I don't
okay.
want you to move.
George, did you hurt that in the game? I know Minnesota has not been your favorite surface. I know they changed it, but was there any residue from that?
You know what? I had like lower body cramps, continued cramping, so that was like my entire third quarter. Got IV, came out, kind of hit me again at the end of the game, fourth quarter, and it was really sore all day Monday, Tuesday. Got a bunch of treatment on it. Went out to practice on Wednesday, and just wasn't feeling right. And so then after practice on Wednesday, we got an MRI, and I had a grade 1 hammy. And so we're not really sure. Like, we thought I was going to be 100% fine, and it just ended up not. So that's how that turned out.
New surface, much better.
You know what? I'm not going to blame the surface for a hamstring. I'll blame Brock for throwing the ball over my head.
How often have you had to have an IV throughout your career, college?
During a game?
Yeah.
That was actually the first time I've cramped in a football game since high school when I played both ways. So it was just hot in there, I would say.
George, you didn't make the trip to LA, did you?
Unfortunately, no, I did not.
What was it like watching Juwan's show
Oh.
on TV?
That was really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed watching Juwan. It was just fun. The fun thing about, when you miss it on the sideline, like, I hate not being there. I love being a captain. Like, I like being there because also I got 3 tight ends that were playing that, haven't really played a lot of snaps as a 49er, so I would love to be there for that. But being able to watch the TV copy and, like, the close-ups on, like, his emotions and stuff like that, like, I see that every day in person, but to be able, to see how the world gets to see it was a very, very cool experience because you see how much that guy loves the game, how he competes, how good of a player he is. So that part was fun. The rest of it I absolutely just hated. It was awful. Besides, I got a lot of good, tailgating foods. So that was kind of fun. Besides that, wasn't that exciting for me.
Do you take it all in, or are you up and yelling and
I'm definitely not, on my feet too often. It's more of, a stressful pace back and forth.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to follow along on the call sheet on my iPad.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun. But most of the time, I'm just sweating a lot.
And what about Brock Purdy's performance?
Oh, Brock did a fantastic job. I mean, he just continues to stack really good games after each other. Gets the ball, gives his guys opportunities to make plays, and I get great stats. The running stuff is incredible to watch too. Where he had ran 76 yards on one play to gain 3 yards. A little dramatic in my opinion, but that's Brock for you. Besides that, no, he played a really good game. It was fun to see that.
To kind of follow up on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Fred Warner actually said, I don't know why people think they need to see Brock Purdy do much more without his guys out there to show that he's a legit quarterback. You have anything to add to that?
I think Brock's game speaks for itself. I think if you know football and you watch the game, it makes a lot of sense. And you also see all the former football players, the quarterbacks that played that are now talking. Hey, Brock's a fantastic quarterback. I don't know what you guys are saying. And then you have guys who've never played the game talk about how he's, just got good guys around him. It make sense. I don't really get it, but after playing with him for 3 years now, I continue to say the same thing. He's a fantastic quarterback with good players around him, and he just takes advantage of those opportunities around him. But then when those guys aren't around him, he still plays at a high level.
When you're looking at following along on the call sheet,
Yes.
are you able to predict at this point?
like Tony Romo?
What Shanahan's going to call?
Predict the play, no, but I know the plays based off of formations usually. We when you get to the week to week, our plays are so specific week to week, so that you see a certain formation with certain guys next to each other. I'm like, okay, I know what play that is usually. So that was kind of fun. Juwan's first touchdown, I saw the formation. I was like, this is gonna be a touchdown. I can't wait for it. And then he scored. So that was pretty fun. But I don't really like doing that.
Did you know that Juwan was going to have a big game? Could you tell from the game plan?
Not necessarily. I think Juwan just. That's the thing. I've had games where I thought I was going to have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and I had 1 target. And then I've had games where I thought I was going to have 0 targets, and I've had 180 yards. So it's just it's totally random. Kyle just kind of, whoever he thinks is hot, he kind of goes with. And Juwan started off hot and then continued to be hot.
Does anything jump out at you of the Patriots defense when you've been watching on film?
Yeah, actually, I think they're incredibly sound in everything that they do. You watch their tape of like how their D line plays, and they do the exact same thing every single time. Like they're incredibly well coached. They want to get their hands on, extend, shed. They let the backs make cuts, and then they shed the blockers and they make the tackles. They give you a whole bunch of different funky looks, kind of not as much as Minnesota, but they do a lot of similar stuff, and they try to confuse you a little bit. Look like man, they'll be in Tampa. They do a lot of different stuff. I think they play with three safeties a lot, and I think the three safeties are all pretty damn good. They run around, they hit, they tackle, they fly around. I think like really good representation of it. Like you saw them going to the Cincinnati and they won there. But I thought the game versus Seattle was really, really interesting to watch because they gave it their all in that. That was an overtime game, and so they're going to fly around, and they're not really scared of anybody. They're well coached. I think they have a really fun vibe there right now too. Like they're working hard, but they're enjoying themselves, and I think the coach has them playing at a high level. So. I'm excited for the opportunity, really, just to get back on the football field, but looking forward to playing the Patriots.
George, it's still September, probably not panic time, but at 1-2, is there like any sense of urgency about this game and not letting things like?
Oh dear. I would say sense of urgency every day. That's how I feel about it. I think if you're in the NFL and you don't have a sense of urgency, that's the quickest way to lose more football games. So I think our coaching staff has done a great job about reaffirming a sense of urgency. Like I don't think my sense of urgency is any different. Like I approach practice the same every day. Like I try to get better at one thing every single day and try to get better at the game plan and lock it in. And I think our team does a really good job of that too. And I think we had a grind of a practice today, and I think our sense of urgency is 100% there. And if it's not, that's bad ball for the Niners. And hopefully you can tell me who doesn't have a sense of urgency, and I'll address it with them.
George, what do you think of the blocking?
Do a couple more.
Oh, I loved seeing it. I thought Eric did a fantastic job of, our offense is very complicated. It took me a couple years to really get comfortable in it, and for Eric to come in the spring and then start in week 3 of the season, and he played like 50 snaps. I was pumped for Eric. I thought he played really well. There's always things you can get better at, but he ran off the ball. He had good edges. He was pretty solid in pass pro, like the plays that they needed him on. So that was exciting, and I'm just pumped for him to be able to get that out there. And it's also really fun. We work with a guy like Kyle Juszczyk, who's really good at his job. He makes our job a lot easier too. So when you work with him, it gives you confidence in yourself, so you can go out there and take more risks, and you can have a little bit wider hat placement because Juice is going to have your back on certain stuff. And for Eric to go out there and trust Juice in that way, and they had a really good game together, it made me very happy.
With Kyle Juszczyk, what does he bring to this offense that we don't see?
Let's see. I'm going to try to think of something different. I think what I've usually said in the past was that Kyle is like, he can fix any play. So like we have all these plays like that, like there's a combo between the tight end and the tackler, the tight end and Juice, and depending on how the defensive looks, like he can swap that out. And there's times that those blocks get messed up, and Juice will just fix it by blocking whoever's left. So I think he always does a good job of that. I think one thing that you guys don't see is, I think it's Juice's first year as a captain, and I think that's like 6 years late. I really do. I think Juice has been a fantastic leader ever since he's been here. He's not always the most vocal guy, but when he's in the huddle, he brings a sense of confidence and calmness every single time he's in there. And the cool thing about Juice too, he's in every fullback play. He does some tight end stuff, and then he's like, and on third downs, he does some running back protection stuff, running routes. Like he's very accountable. I know Coach Fleury said the other day to him is that, he's one of the more clutch players that we have. Like anytime that you need him to do something, you can just rely on Juice to get the job done. And so I'd say his leadership and just his ability to get the job done is two things that he's just really good at.
Have you talked to Christian? If so, how is he?
I think he's doing really well. I talked to him yesterday. Time zones are funny. I think I talked to him yesterday. But yeah, he's doing really solid. I'm just looking forward to seeing my good friend.
All right, thanks, guys. I think Juwan's